Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has outlawed basically Cair, the Muslim Brotherhood in the state. And of course, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who works for the Muslim Brotherhood and also Iran, not for the state of Minnesota or the United States, is all upset about it. Boy, I have to say, sometimes you can be judged by who your friends are. Sometimes you can be judged by who your enemies are. Can you quickly tell us, how is this going over in the state? Is Greg Abbott getting kudos for this? Is there any major pushback from anyone other than Ilhan Omar? What are you seeing there in Texas?
Yeah, a lot of people see this as a campaign move for Greg Abbott. Everybody's been beating him over the head saying, hey, you need to do something about this. And finally he says, oh, okay, let's go investigate, and let's go see what's going on here. Let's go poke around. And by the way, when he means that, he means Attorney General, you go do it. And so there's going to be a lot of, if anything comes of this, credit given to Greg Abbott, where really it's actually the job of the Attorney General to go do this. So, Kim Paxton will be happy to go investigate. He has been looking into this for some time now. And so is anything going to come of it between now and Election Day? Who knows? But we're glad that there's some kind of investigation going on to this, because we know that there are nefarious actors here with directions straight back to the Muslim Brotherhood.
All right, let's get to...
It's long past due.
All right, let's get to issue number 3, which is, I want you to give us an update. You just mentioned Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton has been fighting officially since October, but for a long time before that, this open primary situation we have in Texas. This is insane. These open primary rules are ridiculous. It's really supposed to be about people from one particular party choosing their party's candidate. So how's that going?
Correct, Jake. This is my number one issue, really, is closing the primaries in Texas. This is the first question I ask any candidate when they're running. Do you want to close the primaries? If their answer to me in Texas is immediately, yes, I want to. In fact, if they haven't been advocating for this for months on end, I don't trust them. Okay, that's how powerful this issue is in Texas, because when we close the primaries, things are going to change dramatically for the Republican Party. We're going to start electing our own people for once. And kudos to the state party attorney, Mrs. Rachel Hooper. I have to give her a shout out. And we have been moving along here at the convention. There was a lot of work that was done ahead of time at convention in order to make this happen. And so if you're running for office, if you're the governor, running for office right now, and you don't want to close the primaries, yet you're spending $1.25 million, Secretary Nelson spending $1.25 million of our own taxpayer dollars with Greg Abbott's attorneys fighting our own party, that's never a good move. I've tweeted about this numerous times over, and those are some of my biggest, interactions with the voters here. Everybody wants closed primaries. Most voters in Texas don't even realize we don't have closed primaries. When they find out, they're shocked. So this is a massive issue, and this is going to neuter the rhinos here in Texas, and it's going to help destroy the teachers union, because it's with their crossover votes they win elections like House District 21 for Dade Phelan and House District 133 for Mono de Isla. Okay, don't forget it. There's only one reason these people get power, and that's because of open primaries and the crossover voting blocks from the teachers union. This is a massive battle against the teachers union.
Yeah, Texas is our biggest red state, and the fact that we get watered down candidates coming out of that state so often because of this is really infuriating. All right, Tom, last issue, because it's been an issue that you and I have been talking about almost for a year now, this Texas state lottery scandal where, who knows, basically gangsters or incredible speculators got millions of tickets printed so that they would have all the numbers covered. Just this week, we finally got more details about this. It was not just one place where they had dozens of machines. It was probably dozens of locations. We learned in an article this week in the Houston Chronicle that at least 30 people, 30 human beings, were going all over the state, including one Uber driver, I don't know if you want to call him lucky or unlucky, who picked them up at the airport and ended up working for 3 days straight with no break. I mean, as people learn more about this, I can't understand why anyone would put their money in the Texas lottery game. It is rigged. That people have figured it out. I can't believe this game hasn't been shut down, Tom.
Yeah, I think it really probably should be. There's always going to be people out there trying to game the system. And in this case, it was a gentleman from Melbourne, Australia, $95 million of a lottery engineered. He ended up walking away with $57.8 million in this scheme. The entity was called Rook Texas, because you can do that in Texas. You can just create an entity. His name was Bernard Martinelli, I believe. But
Yeah.
the lotto games, the state of Texas actually helped this guy complete what he was trying to do. They sent more machines out there and allowed him to buy all these tickets. And since
Incredible.
then, they've said, okay, well, we can't allow people to go out and buy every combination possible. By the way, the same gentleman tried this in Connecticut and lost before he won. But he had figured out a system, and they knew that in a certain scenario, they could try to go in and buy every combination and just steal the lottery, essentially. So I'm looking forward to the legislature actually doing more than what the commission has done with this. I think we need to make a bold move and either completely secure what we have or get rid of it. And I wouldn't be upset if we just got rid of it altogether. If you ask me, I don't think it's really producing great money for the state of Texas. We've got so much billions of dollars coming through the door. Do we really need a lottery that can be corrupted and be taken advantage of so easily? I don't think so. I wouldn't mind getting rid of it personally. And there's a lot of conservatives in Texas that probably feel that way. But once the corruption has happened once, and the lieutenant governor's kicking the door in, it's a big deal. It's a problem, and it's not something that you've heard about publicly here in Texas. Hasn't been covered much. And I want to say thank you, Jake, for covering this. You're one of the few people that have, and at least the Chronicle did write about it. Now, kudos to them for doing some real journalism for once. And so you can read about it, and it's an article probably worth reading. And also check into Texas Scorecard, who Daniel Greer at Texas Scorecard actually wrote about this weeks ago, months ago, and has been covering this for quite some time. So thank God for conservative media. So go check out Daniel Greer at Texas Scorecard to find out more about this important story.
Yeah, I can't believe the Houston Chronicle did something other than writing about a restaurant and pretending it's a story. The Houston Chronicle, by the way, for those of you who don't know, has just become this big newspaper where they do advertorials on the front page about restaurants. That's all they do. But they made an exception this time. Also, I'd like to see these lottery games replaced with maybe games of skill, like win $1 million if you can kick a 5-yard field goal or something. That would be cool. All right, Tom Slocum, thank you so much for joining us. A lot going on in Texas. Have a great weekend.